All right, so I want to talk about Colorado. I've been covering them for about um, since Deion's been there. I've been covering Deion since he went to Jackson State, and I'm going to try to give my honest draw about the situation and give an unbiased because I am unbiased on this. Well, I'm biased on this, but for a certain particular reason. When Deion Sanders went to Jackson State, he was able to pull recruits and win successful there without having the best coaching because you're getting good players, transfer players that will get exposure and an opportunity at the next level that you won't get at a Division 1 school. Right? You're playing a 1A school, Jackson State. You can pull top recruits in to play there, be successful, and win year over year over year. That doesn't mean you're a good coach because you're getting the best, just getting the best players, right? Um, and they lost to the MEAC in this MEAC SWAC challenge as well twice. But you're not doesn't mean you're a good coach. So he gets to Colorado, right? And what he did with Jackson State, he left Jackson State. He was not honest about how he left Jackson State, right? He left the college in shambles. Colorado should have saw that, right? Colorado should have saw what was going on, right? But they didn't think about that. They just thought about, okay, what can Deion bring to Colorado? And Deion is and has brought a lot of exposure to Colorado. We don't care about Jackson State anymore, right? We don't care about how we left them and how we still owes them money, right? Deion owes them money, and now he rolls into Colorado. Now, understand this. I'm rooting for Deion. I'm rooting for Shador Sanders. I'm rooting for Shiloh Sanders. I'm rooting for those players because I want them to be successful. This is not something I'm saying is I don't want them to be successful. I want them to be successful. But the method that Deion thinks he's going to win, where it worked at Jackson State, get all the recruits. When you go to Colorado, that's top dog ball, right? You're talking Power Five right now, Power Four, Power Five right now. So now you're playing the best teams year over year over year that also have good recruits. So it's not like your recruits are better, immensely better than other recruits that are coming in and leaving out, right? He's not pulling these wild recruits are still these best recruits are still going to Alabama, Georgia, Ohio State. They're still going to those top schools. Georgia. They're not going to, you know, oh, I'm going to go to Colorado. The top recruits are still going there. Recruits are pretty much evenly spaced out, right? It's not like you're getting the best guy at every position there, and you still got to coach him. You still have to coach him. Now you say you would rebuff the offense line, bring a new coaching staff in, and transfers in. Now there's no year over year learning or development that's already established there, and you're starting from square one. Now, I do think that Colorado will get better as the season goes on. But what I do know is Deion is going to have, this is his audition. He's going to have to coach. Now, he may not care about anything until his sons get to the NFL. But he's going to have to coach his son and Travis Hunter into the NFL. Well, Travis Hunter would be fine, but his son into the NFL. And you're not going to do that by just bringing in new people and saying, hey, make it work. Recruits left, and this is one game, right? Recruits left because this reason. And this is why Deion Sanders, this is why Nick Saban retired. People say he retired. I think he retired mainly because of Jalen Milroe, because even the last 4 years of the NIL while Nick Saban was there, Alabama had the best recruiting class. The NIL never affected Nick Saban. He's always done well in NIL. Right? It wasn't that. I think it was Jalen Milroe, but they say it was the last 4 years. It was the last 4 years. They said he's running with NIL. Deion Sanders has to understand this. These guys that are leaving the NIL deals or going to different schools, they're doing the same thing. Like, you're not getting the chunk of players that are immensely better than everybody else, all other teams. They're pretty much even kill. You know, even 12 kill for the Pac-12. And Jalen Murrow has, Deion Sanders has to understand that you're getting the basic guys, right? You're not getting these extraordinary guys. You're not doing anything different. The coach isn't so much better. You're not just gonna pop it there in Colorado and just make waves because you're not getting the best guys and then getting away with just kind of surface level coaching. You got to coach, you got to develop, right? You got to build, and you got to do it quickly. This year, whether Deion Sanders coaches after this or not, is mainly going to be focused on auditioning for another role if he wants to, or promoting his sons so they can get opportunity at the next level. Travis Hunter will be fine. He's going to be fine because he's an elite talent. He's going to be fine. But with Shedeur Sanders, that you have to win games. You can't have amazing passing stats and not win games. You have to win games. And where I want them to do well, it's not easy as we think it is because most people who are just rooting for Colorado just want to root for Deion. I don't think what Deion did was right as a person to HBCUs. I don't think what he said was right, and I think that he slandered HBCU's name based off of what he thought he was capable of doing and what he signed up for. There's consequences for that. So we have to understand we can't let our personal bias want Colorado to do well and say, hey, they're going to be great because Deion. Deion isn't, I'd say it, Deion hasn't had a resume of him being a good coach. Deion has had the best players at Jackson State that were immensely better. I mean, getting D1 recruits to come down and play at Jackson State for exposure was unparalleled. But now at Colorado, you're getting the same level of players in the NIL or your recruiting. And when you transfer people out and transfer people in, you're not building anything. So now when you lose, when you put yourself on the field in Nebraska where they built something and half of your guys are transfers and you have new offensive coordinators, right? And then now you're instilling this military discipline, which kids like, I don't want to deal with it. Go somewhere else. It's going to be tough to win games. Right? There's consequences from what you did at Jackson State, and you're facing them. You'll be facing them, now and for the rest of your life. So that's why I say we got to stop wanting Deion to be so great and wanting him to be so good and give an honest draw of, yes, we can root for him, but also be honest about what is and what is not going to happen when it comes to him playing in the Pac-12. So that's kind of like an honest take. I'm interested to hear what you guys think about it. But I don't like the fact that Deion Sanders, like, the reason why Alabama has the hardest schedule ever is because everyone wants to beat them. Everyone plays their best against Alabama. Being Alabama is something some teams talk about that, bigger than their conference win. They beat Alabama. And everybody wants a piece of you. They're going to play the best football against you. Now Colorado is the same exact thing. You're getting everybody's best punch week in, week out. Which other schools don't have to worry about that. There's a standard now that you put out there that everyone wants to obliterate in the mud. And as a black coach in college football, they really want to put your head in the mud and suffocate you. So week in, week out, it's going to get tougher. But I do think Colorado will get better throughout the year if they focus on building. I'm not sure what happened with Shedeur Sanders leaving like that. I don't think that was appropriate if he just left because he was upset. But it's going to take some fortitude, and you got to have fortitude in this Power 5 football to be successful.